So all the sovereign power belongs to the people, and we as Kenyans exercise that power by electing a president and electing a National Assembly. So there's a big debate in this country about the finance bill, especially the housing fund, which Kenyans are saying no to. But the president is behaving in a very cowardly manner by threatening members of parliament. That house is supposed to be independent. That's the same house that Tumboya sat, JM Kariuki, Pioga Mapinto, Koigi wa Mwere, George Anyona, Chelagat Mutai, Wangari Maathai sat in that house. It's independent. We pay our members of parliament to represent our voices, and the people have said no to the housing fund. Our people pay parliament, Kenyan people pay the president, and we pay him to work for us. The president of the Republic of Kenya is an employee. He lives rent-free at State House. We pay his salary, we pay security, we even pay the tissue uses to wipe his ass. That's us, that's what we do. As Kenya, we even pay his water bill. But the president is making a mistake by threatening members of parliament, because that house is independent.
Mimi nangojea wale wabunge watakuwa ukule bunge ni tuwaone kwa macho kwamba wao wanapinga ati ajira ya hawa vijana ambao waliwapigia kura. Wanapinga mpango wa manyumba ya hawa wangwana na 5%, ili hali yeye mjumbe anapata 3%. Sini mzuri tujue ni kina nani watapiga kura against this finance bill.
So those kids have parents, and the money they earn is not enough to pay for a housing fund, pay tax, pay NHIF, pay bribes, because this country is very corrupt. And the president is telling us that to spend, we must have a housing fund. Realize this. This country is big, 50 million people. We have county governments. If you work in Machakos County, or Kisumu County, or Mandera County, or even in Lamu, you have a village home. You have a home in Ushago. Why are you paying housing fund? If you're 50 years old, 55 years old, you're almost retiring, why do you want to pay the housing fund? The president must listen to the people of this country, because the voice of the people is the voice of God. So the gods of this country, the people of this country have spoken and saying no to the housing bill. And members of parliament must listen to us, because if they fail to do that, we shall punish them. Remember this, we pay members of parliament a very good salary. We give them a free car grant of 7 million shillings. We give them a mortgage for their house. We give them health insurance. We give them bodyguards. And we do that so they can actually pass laws without fear or intimidation. They must refuse to be intimidated by the president. They must refuse. That house is independent. Their work is legislations and oversight. The president is interfering with parliament by demanding they must pass his housing fund by force. Here, Mr. President, you are an employee of the Kenyan people. You work for us. You went around this country, you begged, you bribed, you did whatever you did to get elected. Now you're elected. You must respect the Constitution. Your work is to uphold, respect, and follow the law.
That I will obey.
That I will obey.
Preserve. Protect. And defend this Constitution.
And defend this Constitution
of Kenya.
As
by law established. And all other laws. Of the Republic.
None of us is above the law. All of us must submit to the rule of law. It's the only thing that makes us equal. There are no tall or short or fat or thin people. When it comes to the rule of law, we are all equal and we are all one size.
You threatening members of parliament is not following and upholding the Constitution. You were elected 10 months ago. You're in power right now. You say, your people say, everyone says billions were stolen. Focus that energy, that anger, in recovering the billions that was stolen by the Uhuru regime, which you're part of. Billions were stolen, not a single person has been arrested or prosecuted. And then to add insult to injury, in define chapter 6 of this Constitution, every day you are appointing thieves into your cabinet. To members of parliament who are being threatened and being intimidated, your office is independent. Ruto does not feed you, Ruto does not fund you, Ruto does not pay you. The Kenyan people pay your salary. So you must listen to the Kenyan people. And you're saying no to the housing fund. If the president believes that his bill is going to pass without intimidation, I ask him this question: why don't you allow to have a secret ballot during that voting? If you think that you're going to pass that bill and you're very confident that people are going to be whipped to listen to you, why don't you have a secret ballot? Are you afraid? And to members of parliament, remember this: Ruto does not fund you, does not feed you, does not pay you. You are independent and you are paid by the Kenyan people. And the Kenyan people have said no to the housing fund. It's a scam, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's theft of our resources. Members of parliament, Ruto can do nothing to you. CDF allocation is not by Ruto. It's by the Kenyan people. It's by the constitution. Your salary comes from us. So you need to hear our voices. But there's a possibility. Some of you have dossiers, some of you have skeletons, some of you are criminals. So there's a possibility. The only people that Ruto can intimidate are thieves, rapists, murderers, and land grabbers. If you're in this parliament and you have skeletons, then you can be threatened by Ruto. But if you know you're clean and the people sent you to parliament to work for them, to provide oversight, to become their voice, the people have spoken and they're saying no to the housing finance bill. We don't want to pay the 3% to Ruto or his government. We're saying, let us save that money and build our own homes. Do not force these things on us. You know, Mr. President, we're giving you 2 billion shillings for your travel. That's 11 million shillings daily to travel. I don't know where you're going, whether it's Mars or Venus or the US, wherever you're going. That's a lot of money that is going to waste because this country is broke. We have no doctors in the hospitals. We have no medicine in hospitals. We don't even have enough teachers. The country is broke, but you're spending 2 billion on travel. But given that, and maybe you must travel, and you must travel to raise more money for this country, we're asking you, Mr. President, please drop the house financing bill. And if that is not dropped, we're asking members of parliament, please be bold, defy dictatorship. Ruto is not Moi. Moi was under the old constitution. We have a document that protects members of parliament. No one is going to arrest you. No one is going to intimidate you. Vote no on this housing finance bill. After all, we pay you to do your job. And people have said no. I hope you hear us. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Mr. President? Hear us and listen to us.